I'm Todd Connor, and I'm an atheist, and I'm a Christian. I know that sounds weird. My friends all laugh at me when I say that, and many of my fans online, they just call me delusional. And that's the funny thing about delusion, actually. You know, how do you know? How could I know if I'm delusional So guess what? That's what you get to decide. You get to decide if I'm delusional or not. But I am a Christian atheist. And the reason I come to that title for myself is I grew up as a kid as an atheist. My parents were both atheists when I was little. They taught me to think that way. They taught me to be skeptical. They taught me to question everything. They taught me to believe nothing unless it had evidence to it and it could be established with actual facts. And that made me an atheist. Because I grew up an atheist, I think like an atheist, I challenge everything. That's what I'm going to do here with these videos. I want to challenge everything, and I want you to do that too. The only requirement for you to participate in these videos and you participate with me is to think. That's all you got to do. Think, challenge, question, and fire them at me. You know, I was an atheist, and then I became a Christian. Maybe you can convert me back. Maybe you can make me an atheist again. Give it a try. You know, atheism is not illogical. It's very logical. It's not illogical. It's inadequate. And that's what I found out when I really had to come up with answers for things in my life. It's great at asking questions. It's great at being skeptical. It's great at challenging the truth. But it's horrible at coming up with answers. And that's what I discovered as I started to really try to get answers for my life. I realized I had spent all these years as an atheist asking all kinds of really great thinking questions, really great questions, but not having a lot of answers. And that's what I want to do here. I want to question Christianity and I want to question atheism. I want to find answers. Answers that fit into an atheist grid. Answers that fit into the grid of thinking, of being skeptical, of demanding that you give me some evidence. And I'm okay if you disagree with me. In fact, if you were sitting here, I'd like you better if you did. You'd be more interesting. I love people who disagree with me. It makes me think. But that's the requirement. You have to think, and you have to come up with logical answers that are thinking answers. I live by three principles when I'm evaluating truth. That is that science wins, logic wins, and evidence wins. Has to fit into one of those or all of them. And if it violates something to a great degree, then it's simply not true. And these are the parameters, I think, by which every atheist actually lives. These things cannot be violated. Otherwise, it's not true. Or you've inserted something to make it more true, like you've inserted faith. But the fact is, science wins, logic wins, and evidence wins. That's how we know something is absolutely true. What atheists don't realize, what I didn't realize when I was an atheist, is I was incorporating faith. I was inserting faith into the things that I believed. I wasn't just using science, logic, and evidence. I was using science, logic, and evidence, and where things like evidence didn't quite make it, I'd insert faith. I'd say, yeah, well, it just seems to be that way. I tell my atheist friends, I say, the problem is you're not sticking to the three rules, and that's why you're still an atheist. And you're not admitting that you're using faith. You're still an atheist because you refuse to use the atheist principles. Like the Big Bang, for example, the Big Bang's real. We know science says it's a real thing that really happened. There's evidence of it. Hubble discovered evidence through astronomy. Einstein discovered evidence through physics. We'll get into all these details in another video. But the Big Bang is real. Science says it. Evidence says it. Logic says it. Because science and evidence are there, so logic says it's real. The problem is, in an atheist mind, it has to be real without God. And that's a problem. That takes faith. Again, I'll get into that in another video, all the details as to why that takes an extreme amount of faith to come to that conclusion. But it does. So again, I would say to my atheist friends, I say, the problem is you don't stick to the three rules. You dabble in them a little bit, and then you insert faith to try and keep your atheism together. Ultimately, you're keeping your atheism together. You're not necessarily truly finding truth. So there's the challenge. Like, subscribe, make comments. It helps the channel a ton. And your challenge, you've got it now. Try and convert me back to atheism. I dare you.